Hey guys, Joe here, and here to talk to you about why you should be ignoring the tier list in Super Smash Brothers 4 and in all the tier lists in any game pretty much. Now, this does apply to the 99% of you that do play in medium or even somewhat high level play and casual play, so hopefully you enjoy and hopefully you listen to this and let it somewhat come to mind. So the first thing to say is that usually tier lists don't really apply to you unless you are at the top level of play. Now, basically the mentality of this is that if you're playing casually or even mid-level of play, even somewhat high level of play, a lot of times your character being high on the tier list won't really help you way too much. Now sure, they're stronger than the other characters, they have some more tools that they can pull off, but a lot of the times it won't really give you the win versus a friend that really knows how to play their guy. And unless you're playing at the very top level of play, having somebody a little bit higher tier than your friend, like 5 or 10 places, won't really do way too much for you. So you shouldn't just change your character just a few places to try to do better, because you probably won't improve that much from that. Now another thing is, if you play casually with friends, or just stuff like that, it doesn't really matter at all as far as tier lists, especially if you're playing in free-for-alls. In free-for-alls, if you play those a lot with your friends, which a lot of people do, playing somebody like Sheik may not be the best choice, especially if you're not even a high-skilled player, because somebody like Bowser could just spam that side smash and get the kill a lot earlier. Now this is of course assuming you're playing casually free-for-alls and you're a casual player, but yeah, if you are casual, I'd say just ignore tier lists and just play who you think is fun or who you just like stomping with, because they won't really get you that much more wins if you're playing casually. So another thing I really see a lot about why people should ignore tier lists is that most of the time you won't bother to put in the time to actually get good with that new high tier character that you just picked up, because a lot of the times you just aren't having as much fun with them as you did with your mid or low tier character, or even with a different high tier character. You may just not have as much fun with them, you'll probably get bored after a while, and then eventually quit with them, and then you'll end up worse with that character and worse with the game than you ever were before, even if you were playing a character that wasn't quite as strong, even just by a few places. Now, of course, all this actually does relate somewhat to people that play high-tier characters that have always been playing their high-tier character from the start. A lot of people really complain about these guys. They're like, you play Sheik, you play Rosalina, I don't like when you play these guys, they're OP and whatever. But really, you shouldn't. A lot of these people didn't pick them up just because they're OP, they just picked them up because they liked them. They picked them up from the start of the game. And if you're one of those people, don't listen to everybody complaining about your guy's OP, your guy's top tier. You shouldn't be picking your guy because it's just not fun to play against in casual. The opponent should try to learn some ways to combat it pretty much, and should just realize that if you enjoy that character, you should be allowed to play it just like they should be allowed to play their lower tier character. Now the final thing is that if you do happen to pick a mid tier or low tier, something like that, a really nice thing about it is that you can actually advance the meta of that character and create an overall better meta. If you make someone like Peach, which a lot of people have done, a character that people thought was okay but really not too great, if you advance her meta, give her all these new tactics, then you can see that she's really good. You can do this with a lot of characters, you can do this with Bowser Jr., with all these different people, and I'd say if you're playing a low or mid tier, even a like almost high tier but not quite high tier, you can still really advance their meta, you can have a lot of fun with it, and you can learn some new tricks, and even become kind of famous for what you've done. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me if you like to play a top tier, if you like to play a bottom tier, and why, and then we can all talk about this in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching though, and I'll see you all next time.